What up guys, today we're going to be talking about how strong is Galactus in every comic book appearance, part 2. Now the last part I went through quite a bit of the feats, quite a bit of comic books, and quite a bit of his story, so I'm going to try to go through as much as I possibly can in this video. I want to make this series short. I don't want to make the multiple videos because they're kind of big. The last one was like over an hour and 30 minutes, and I don't want to make it too big, but there's just so much information. I have a lot to talk about, so yeah, let's get into it. So the first event we see is there's these two cosmic beings out in outer space, and they're talking about a big event happening, and this is the lead up to the Infinity War story event, which Galactus has some involvement in it. Obviously it's mainly about Thanos and the other heroes, but there's quite a bit of, impressive feats and story details in that little story arc and leading up to it that is very important in this discussion. So first we see is this one cosmic being says, "Yes, I spent all my time now searching for the face of infinity. I glimpsed her hand once many cycles ago when a tiny fraction of her power was being trapped by the earth god Odin. Infinity is a being. Oh yes, she's one of the abstract entities of this universe, like eternity, chaos, and oblivion. I have never heard of these entities. Whom created them? How did they come to be? I don't know. No one I know of knows. Few beings are even aware of their existence. Why is infinity so interesting to you? Why? Because she's the biggest of them all. The older I get, the more my body drifts apart. Someday I will dwarf the solar system, then the galaxy, then the local group. But even at the rate I'm going, I may never catch up to her. So I want to see her. After all, she defies the very space into which I expand. Wait, where are you going? I have businesses. I'm going to say. Okay, so basically what happened to these two cosmic beings, there's this one cosmic being, the green one is called, he's Kronos, and then the purple one is a new mysterious being that has reached, cosmic divinity. So Kronos was basically stating that he's explaining that he saw eternity once a long time ago. She's the opposite of, or not eternity, infinity. She's the opposite end of eternity. They have two different sides of a coin. Eternity and infinity are two of the same beings. Infinity is a female cosmic construction, and eternity is a male version of that, but they're both the same beings, and they're both just the opposite ends of the same thing. And he's also mentioning the other abstract entities, and that she's one of the higher level because she is connected to eternity, which is the embodiment of the universe itself. These other abstract beings and concepts are within the universe itself, but they're not above the universe itself. So look at it, the hierarchy: chaos, order, oblivion, all these other ones, Eon, Kronos, all these cosmic beings are right beneath eternity itself and infinity, which are both the same thing, which is basically the universe itself, or the representation of the universe, basically meaning these concepts are below universal levels of power. And he said he's going to grow big enough to be bigger than a solar system or even a galaxy, but at no point is he going to be bigger than the universe itself. So the expansion, there's some really interesting things leading up to it because there's this big event that happens in this story. So later on we see in the story, it says, "This is my goal, to collapse the entire universe into a singular omniless point, thereby rendering all that is into your domain, the realm of trackless oblivion. You are nothing if not ambitious anomaly. Do you not realize that any such attempt to upset the cosmic balance will tilt the supreme powers of the universe against you? Let me worry about them. Most learned and most powerful master, do I have your blessings undertaking this task?" Now, he also says cosmic awareness, omniscience, the capability to know the entire universe in all of its depth and complexity. Seek Eon, one of the time beings. He is the least powerful of all the various entities who possess that attribute in its totality. You have the greatest chance of wresting its secrets from one of his feeble as him. Thank you for the console. So basically, this is the events leading up before this. This other cosmic being that was talking to, I think it was Cronus, or that was Eon, I think. He was talking to him, and he's basically his point is he's trying to collapse the entire universe into a single point, basically destroying the entire universe. And when he destroys it, it will be absorbed into Oblivion's domain, which he's another powerful, conceptual being. So he's going to collapse the universe, bring it to his universe, so he can get more power from it. That's what he was saying, but that wasn't the case. He was actually lying. He was trying to manipulate him, and his construct, title is being an anomaly. So he's known for being an anomaly. That's his job. And then also Oblivion mentions that there are, with all the other conceptual beings, or conceptual beings, not constructual, conceptual beings that there are out there, Eon is the weakest version of them. So they have still a hierarchy between all of them. It doesn't, just because you're a conceptual being or a cosmic level being, that means that you're all equal in power. There's still a hierarchy between all of them, and Eon is on the lowest, and he said he's the easiest to get the information out of him. Also, there's multiple different aspects of the same thing, like such as time itself, which he mentioned. Then we get into this character, and I think this is the character that was being Oblivion, but he says right here, and you know something, Speck of Death, I do not need the boy's cosmic awareness. I already possess it. He was too late in killing Eon. I only wanted him to give it up. So I'd have to be the only one to have it. As for you, you outlive your purpose, be gone. As of now, the earth winds is like a mechanical toy. I can take my leave of it forever. So what happened was he was stealing the cosmic energy of the Silver Surfer. As he was stealing his energy, he basically used it to kill Eon, one of the construct beings. So he absorbed his energy, killed the weakest, took his power, was growing in his own power, basically banished death. He didn't defeat death, but he banished death, and then he was messing with the Earth's rotation afterwards. And he gained so much power that he actually was able to jump out of the universe itself and affect the kid who can alter realities, the evil being. He says right here, he says, you are the unbeing. I am Maelstrom, the living anomaly, prime agent of Oblivion. So the same kid, the unbeing, who had the ability to change and warp reality and not create things out of nothing, but change the way things were structured and the way things are, like making superheroes. Like there were people, but he gave them powers. He changed their situations, led to certain things. So he has a lot of power. But this being with getting the power of, the same being that he created, he stated before, that was created by the old lady that he tried to get Quasar to destroy. She created Quasar, and now by this guy getting Quasar's armbands and becoming an anomaly himself, he has become a conceptual being, and becoming a conceptual being by killing Eon and absorbing his power, he's now also surpassed this little kid that was the unbeing, and he's contacting to him, and he's even surprised. As this happens, he forms his black hole by stopping the Earth, and it says right here, the universe is expanding uniformly in all directions at once. It has no boundaries, no outer edges from which one might measure its diameter. In order to determine its topogeographical center, most of the universe's mass is undecidable by human instrumentation. I, Maelstrom, the absolute master of motion, have challenged all three of these fundamental properties of the universe. I have stopped the universe's rampant expansion. So this is important because this leads directly, specifically, into the levels of power with these beings of concept and what they're capable of. So with his power, he has the ability to control the motions of things. So he stopped the motion of the universe to basically collapse in on itself to create a supermassive black hole, and it's going to keep on growing in size until it eats it up as a whole. And there's a bunch of stuff that happens because of this, and this obviously is supposed to lead to Oblivion, but he's kind of using him. It says right here, causing all matter in the universe to be extraordinarily drawn toward this very spot, cause it to create a black hole that is a matter of minutes now dwarfs the entire Milky Way galaxy in size, causing it to occur. I have shunned the missing mass of the universe out into the open here. I have literally assigned this spot to the center of the universe. Now it will behoove me to leave. I may have omniscience, and I may be the most dangerous being in the cosmos, but I am not all-powerful yet. It would not be prudent for me to risk being sucked into the center of annihilation, not when I still have some personal matters to attend to. So he basically states that this supermassive black hole it has grown so fast in size that now it's already bigger than the Milky Way galaxy, which is 100,000 light years across. Right? There are black holes that are bigger than solar systems and stuff like that, which is insanely massive, but I haven't heard one that's bigger than a galaxy, like 100,000 light years across, which is crazy. So it's massive, it's collapsing everything in on itself. He's stating himself he has omniscience, but he's not all powerful, not yet. And even with this level of power, he's worried that to not get too close to this black hole, because he knows if he does get to the black hole, or if he's too close to it, the gravitational pull him in and end up crushing him and killing him. So even though he's this powerful, he does not want to mess with that black hole that he created because he knows it will kill him. Now, this is where it leads actually up to Galactus, because he shows up to Galactus saying, I'm assumption of physical form, greater stature than his own, should condemn his attention. Greetings, Galactus, I'm Maelstrom. In the cosmic scheme of things, my position is more exalted than yours. Due to your pre-Big Bang origin, you believe yourself to be the unique among the beings of the universe. So he pulled up on Galactus saying, you think you're so special, you think you're so much better because you're not from this world and the rules don't apply to you. But he's saying that I'm in a higher position than you. Now, we don't know if this means he's stronger than him or just on a higher position, but this is important to, talk about and lead up to his power, because he is very powerful, but he does have a limit. He can't, the black hole that he formed himself that is bigger than our galaxy would have killed him. So this showcases more the levels of power of Galactus, especially if he is above Galactus. So let's go on to it again. He says, yet like the lowest of the creatures, you depend upon outside substance. You are ruled by your own enormous hunger, Galactus, but you are not hunger itself. I, on the other hand, embody a concept. I am the great Maelstrom, the wild devourer. The universe you depend upon satisfies your appetite. I am beyond all manifestations of your power. Not even your ultimate nullifier will avail you against me. While I am engaged you in conversation, I have surrounded it by an impenetrable vortex. So he's saying he created a vortex around him that he cannot get out of, that he needs to eat planets where he doesn't. He's above that. He's above the universal scale. And he even mentioned the ultimate nullifier, saying it wouldn't work on him, which is kind of ridiculous, the fact that he was worried about getting sucked up into the black hole and killing him. But then he's also mentioning that he can handle the ultimate nullifier, which, if I'm being honest with you guys, I do not believe that he could handle it or whatever. I just think that it's kind of BS. But while this is happening, the story events, some of these story events can be a little confusing because they had their other stuff happening. But while this was happening, the Infinity War storyline pretty much already started, and Galactus, or not Galactus, Thanos literally got the Infinity Gauntlet, and he got all the Infinity Stones on him. And as this happened, Maelstrom went to go see him and pay a visit to Thanos and to kind of check out his power and also mess with him, because when he was Oblivion and he was in his concept form and he was talking to, I think it was Eon or Cronus, basically Eon let out some information that there's a new big threat coming and is a very big danger, and it's Thanos. Because with Thanos getting the Infinity Gauntlet and having all the Infinity Stones in it, he was basically becoming a threat to the universe as a whole, and even these other concept beings were sensing it and feeling his presence in the threat. So when Eon told Oblivion this, he was like, okay, he's a threat, I want to check him out. So he goes to check him out and says, the repugnant of the mad titan Thanos, against just where my cosmic awareness informed me it would be. Thanos' taste in architecture certainly runs to the symbolic of barbecue or whatever, barbaric whatever. Still, I dare not dismiss him as an observant eccentric. The Infinity Gems in his possession may well surpass the power of the quantum bands, provided Thanos was adept in their use. I sense he is not alone in the most permanent of the earth. Demons is with him. Mephisto, Lord Thanos, do you feel it? The approach of something evil. You fancy yourself a god, don't you? But you realize how practical the very concept of godhood has become. The vast majority of all the sentiment of races in the universe have abandoned their belief in single anthropomorphic omniscience, entitled of creation and destruction. Sorry if I'm bad at reading some parts. Some of these words, we don't use that much anymore. These are very old school words. But going to it, so basically, what happened? Like I said, he heard that he was becoming a universal threat. He got the Infinity Stones and the Infinity Gauntlet, and this is making a big hitter. And he himself mentions that he might not he can't handle the Infinity Stones himself. So for some reason, he felt that he had enough power to handle the Ultimate Nullifier, but not the Infinity Stones. So I'm guessing if you were to put it in the scaling of which cosmic or universal weapon that's more dangerous, the Infinity Stones altogether are far more dangerous than the Ultimate Nullifier. I don't think he could have survived the Ultimate Nullifier since it can wipe out the universe, but because he talked about how he couldn't handle the black hole itself. So I think he was overshooting himself there, but the Infinity Stones are so powerful that he himself didn't have that confidence. He had more of confidence in the Ultimate Nullifier than this, so that would probably put that up on a higher scaling than the Ultimate Nullifier itself. So he comes there, he goes to check him out, try to see. He finds out Mephisto is there. Mephisto is working with him. He says, "You consider yourself a god." Also, since he's using the quantum mass from Quasar, that means that's where his power comes from, with his own additional power, which is a lot, but not enough to not enough to handle the Infinity gems and stuff. And there is Quasar does show up in the fight against Thanos when he has the entire Infinity Gauntlet with everything in it. So it showcases the power there. But he tells him to liberate him, but he doesn't die. He's still there. He's like, "What's happening?" And then he just ends up disappearing. He said, "Who said, what was his name? Who is that man?" "I know what he said. I want to know where he came from. How he came to his attribute." So basically, Thanos was like, "Fuck this guy. Who the hell are you? Why are you talking shit to me? Who do you think you are?" Try to obliterate him. He ended up basically either tanking it or whatever, but he took it. It didn't destroy him, and he left. Not saying that he could beat Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet and all the Infinity Gems in the Infinity Gauntlet, but he can at least take some of that power. So he is still pretty powerful, and I would say this definitely puts him above what's his name, Galactus. Then later on, the guy who was Quasar, he basically, since he lost his powers, Infinity contacted him and was trying to help him out because, well, what he's doing is going to destroy the universe, thus destroying eternity, thus destroying infinity, and then give him to Oblivion, which is the antithesis to eternity and infinity. So he's basically working with a villain. So what happened was Quasar went and got in contact with Infinity, and she's trying to help him out. He says right here, "You are Infinity, the personification of the spiritual aspect of the universe. Then you must know what is happening within your body. There is a hole at the very center of your being which threatens to engulf everything, turn you inside out. Yes, my son, I am aware of this, my son." So, like I said, eternity and infinity are the same thing. They're basically the opposite ends of the same thing, right? And he said, "You are the representation of the universe itself, not the multiverse, the universe." And this is important because infinity and eternity have a big part to play in the Infinity War storyline arc, okay? And Galactus also has a part to play in it, and they show the cosmic, what's the thing called? Structure. So they're the embodiment of the universe, not the multiverse or universes, because people would argue that this is the eternity and infinity is the concept of the multiverse. So it makes sense that they're above Galactus. They're a multiversal being. So Galactus can still be universal, but that's a little iffy right here. So yeah, he warns her what's happening. She's like, "Yeah, I can feel it inside me," which she's the universe, so she would feel it. And he's asking for her help to beat the threat. And she says right here, "You have the powers to stop Maelstrom while Maelstrom merely taps the power of infinity. You, son of Earth, are one with the power. Go to the point of spiritual implosion. There you must discover how to repair the damage the usurper has done. I have utter confidence in you. Thank you, ma'am, for the chance to redeem myself." So she's basically saying, I need your help. Go in there, fight him. You're the only one that can do it because one, he that's his enemy, and two, the items that he's using were his, so he has more understanding and mastery of it. So she's giving him some power to help out against him. And then Maelstrom is going there and says, he's going there saying, the sowing and the harvesting, the organic life throughout. So he basically, what he does is he goes and he challenges one of the Celestials, because the Celestials are known for creating life there and stuff, so that's their job too, destroying life and then creating new life and, you know, manipulating it. And he's trying to challenge one of the Celestials says, the sowing of and harvesting of organic life throughout the universe has become obsolete. For soon, when space collapses, life simply will not matter. That's what he says to him. And he says, I sense that you are judging me, Hashem. Yes, your judgment will be inadequate for those who are incapable of judging, of being superior to yourself. I know you are what you are. I see the reason why you did what you did. I know you believe yourself to be infallible. You judge Asaranth, but you are not judge itself. Your destruction of unfit worlds is pointless, for I have judged the universe itself in his fate. So he basically pulled up on also Celestials. He's just pulling up on all the most powerful cosmic beings, especially around that time, and just challenging them or calling them outright. He talked shit to Galactus. He talked shit to Thanos with the Infinity Stones or gems. And then he called out the Celestial. And Celestials, they're usually very powerful. A lot of people use them for upscaling other characters like Franklin Richards or Null. And they talk about, like, this character beat the Celestials, but are they really as powerful as people say they are? They make them sound like they're multiversal level beings, but they're not really that powerful. I mean, this guy is just trying to collapse one universe, and by him destroying a single universe, he's already above, the Celestials. So I don't think Celestials are as powerful as a lot of people make them out to be. I do think that they're highly over exaggerated by fans to make other characters that have beaten them sound even more ridiculously powerful. They are powerful still, but I want to put them at even universal levels. So as Quasar is flying, he says right here, Infinity thinks I can do it, reverse the collapse of the cosmos. Wish she'd have given me some clues on how to. I'm trying to take the missing mass of the universe and put it back where it should be shuttered from, and it's not working. Not out here, but outside the black hole. At this rate, looks like I'm actually going to have to go inside. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if the body of quantum force Infinity gave me can withstand the utter compression within. If it's eating Infinity's body like a cancer, my body is just a manifestation of Infinity's, then I would not be nuts to think that I can blatantly zip in and out. So basically, like I said, since he lost his power, but he was supposed to be the protector of the universe itself, so the protector of infinity and the protector of eternity. So even though he lost his power, Infinity was like, I'm going to bestow my power on you. I'm the universe itself. So he has the power of the universe itself within him right now. And she's telling him, go fix the problem because it's spewing out all this, destructive energy, stop the black hole. But he knows that he can't stop it unless he goes inside it. Now he's kind of concerned and worried, can he survive the crushing weight of a black hole of this size and with this much power that's destroying the universe? The reason why he is able to survive because he does go inside is because she's giving him a power, and he should be able to handle it since, yes, it is consuming the universe, but it's not doing it all at once. It's doing it gradually. So she still has enough power to give him to, survive it. So he does fly into it. He says he's dead, compressed to nothingness. He was at a disadvantage, unlike mine. His body was still partially composed to matter once. So what happened was he got into a fight with Oblivion. I didn't show in the images, but you can see a little bit of his face getting torn. So what happened was he got into a fight with Oblivion. They both went into the black hole, but since Quasar is not in a physical form, Infinity imbued her own power into him, making him a conceptual being like her. So he has no physical form and shape. If he goes into the black hole, I guess since he's like a form of energy, he can be torn apart, but he can't be destroyed. It's just his body, I guess he can be torn apart, but it's harder to destroy him if he's not in physical form. Whereas Oblivion, he still has a physical form. So he explains right here, he was at a disadvantage, unlike mine. His body was still partially composed of matter Once inside, I used my powers to accelerate the expanding collapse going inside around us. Really odd before my energy from dissipated. Don't think I could have survived another nanosecond. So what he's saying here is basically says right now his body's in energy form, and the other guy he's a concept. He's like a being that has reached concepthood, but he still has a physical form still. So the physical form has been torn apart, and he's been killed by the black hole. And like I said, he mentioned that if he goes to the at the black hole, he will end up dying. So he wanted to stay away from it. And since he did go near it and ended up dying, it does prove that, yes, that was the case. It wasn't just him, being super cautious. It was the truth that he would die. Now, this is important because, remember, he told Galactus that he's well above Galactus. And he's above the ultimate nullifier. But he was killed by this black hole. Now, I don't believe the ultimate nullifier statement. I think he was over-exaggerating that part, but definitely Galactus part. He's above Galactus, right? But he was still killed by this universe-destroying, black hole, meaning that he's not more powerful than that. Then he was stated that he's stronger than the, Celestials. So he's also above them, but he's still below this black hole. Meaning that if Galactus was to go into it, even though he survived other black holes, this one's far more dangerous and more powerful. It's on a universal scale. If he was to go in it or Celestial, they would end up dying, just like how he did, even though because he is physically above them in terms of power, right? Except for Thanos with the Infinity Stones, because he should be above that. It says here, right here now, underneath that image, it says, "Oh no, the universe is still collapsing faster than ever with the little boost I gave it. Maelstrom's dead, but he's still taking the universe along with him." So he did end up dying. He got swallowed by the black hole, but the black hole is going even faster and gonna still tear apart the entire universe. Then we have the other Watchers standing by saying, "Behold my brother in the black hole at the center of the universe. My calculations is that the size of the galaxy 71867." So it was bigger than our galaxy, and now it's the size of another galaxy. There's different sizes of galaxies. Some galaxies are thousands of times bigger than ours. So this is probably a super, super massive galaxy, and just showcasing how big, it's astronomically big this black hole has gotten. And it says right here, it's expanding rapidly, so must accurately from it. It's at 0.89 light speed in order to keep a constant distance from the event horizon. So they have to move around almost at the speed of light, 0.89% the speed of light or 89% the speed of light to stay away from it so they don't get swallowed up. It says, what is the cause of this unpredictable cataclysm? It says, a being named Maelstrom formed a planet called Earth in the sector. Who is Utah? He did. How did he come by such power? The causation of suffocation, dark matter, one special matter. Okay, so yeah, they're just saying that how did he become so powerful to collapse all this? And then they have a little bit more explanation. They said, then perhaps Maelstrom has perished. No entity could survive such absolute compression that has yet to be observed. A cab. What happened to Earth's mad Quasar? Maelstrom killed him. It was the only way to remove the quantum bands from his wrist. Yeah, so he died, so he doesn't have a physical form anymore. He was luckily saved by Infinity at that point. And they also said that the black hole, the power is so powerful that nothing can go in it without being crushed to death. So since they're Watchers, they know quite a bit. They know about Galactus. They know about all these other beings. They're basically stating that no other cosmic being could take that crushing. That's why they believe 100% that he's dead. It says, not to challenge your observation, Utah, but what appeared to be an energy manifestation of Quasar materialized in the event horizon at the black hole 68 macaques prior to your arrival. So yeah, since he's not a physical being, he can handle it. And now, since this entire event is happening, the universe is in danger, and this is a big threat, all the cosmic beings are pulling up. First we had the Watchers, then we had the Celestials pulling up, and then we had other beings coming there. And as this has happened, it says that here, the sum of all energies in the universe makes it hold positive value, so the universe stops contracting and begins to expand again. One option, let go of my energy body, let me be smashed into nothingness, and pray that the crunch of the nigh infinite energy inbound into it will provide to impetus to restart universal expansion. My body mind slipping away. So this was Quasar in his energy form. He was also getting sucked into the black hole. Even though he's in energy form and doesn't have a physical form, he can still be kind of torn apart. So he was kind of being put into a singularity and he's being crushed himself. But he does survive it as he gets inside because Infinity is helping him out and he's basically her avatar at this point. But like I said, all the other cosmic beings pulled up. You have the Watchers, you have the Monitors, not Monitors. You have the Watchers, you have the Celestials, you have these very powerful alien beings, and you have other aliens. It says right here, with each passing mech, more specters arrive to witness the end. Mighty Galactus and his heralds, the Reginals and the Allens, yet no one takes action, no one ventures forth into the void, no one assets the unknown. So they have all these powerful aliens, all these cosmic beings, all these other powerful beings there, right? They pull up to witness what's happening, but they're not doing anything. The only reason they're not doing anything is because they know that they can't go inside there without dying. Now, we do see that Maelstrom is actually still alive, but it's not because he was strong enough to handle it. They do explain it. It says right here, he says right here, I asked him to bring you here, boy. That's Lord Maelstrom at your disservice. The universe is collapsing and you almost reserved your presence had we not pulled you through the center of the hole just in time. Just like we rescued you. Not quite. I'm totally perished. Oblivion recreated me here. I'm his avatar, you see, and you are my enemy. Now you're trapped here. Great Oblivion holds you in the trackless realm outside your universe. Has the power to do so forever. So basically, what happened was Maelstrom went there, ended up getting torn apart, dying, but Oblivion in his own realm was able to recreate him into his avatar. So he did die, but he just got recreated in Oblivion's realm into his avatar. And Quasar should have been also killed and was dying, but luckily for him, Oblivion saved him and brought him out there. Why did he do it? He did it there to trap him there and to punish him. So that was all to just punish him and use him. And as this is happening, Maelstrom actually grows in size. He says, haven't we, Master? Close enough. Mabel didn't have enough power before, but he's gotten all the power. One of the biggest abstract entities in the universe backing him up. So he literally states right here that Maelstrom didn't have enough power to accomplish what he wanted, and he was trying to get stronger as he was progressing through the story. But now, since he's Oblivion's avatar, he's got the power to become stronger. And Oblivion is one of the most powerful abstract entities the universe has. So, like I said, there's a bunch of even with them being cosmic being or abstract beings or beings of concept. There's still a hierarchy of them all, right? Eon was stated to be the lowest, and Oblivion is stated to be one of the highest, and now Maelstrom is the avatar of that said power. But something interesting happens. While this happens, apparently, since Quasar was getting power given to him by Infinity, he actually became Infinity's avatar. So we have Maelstrom as Oblivion's avatar, and we have Quasar as Infinity's avatar. So now we have these two abstract beings fighting each other. Now we're going to see how powerful their fight between each other will be through their avatars and through themselves, and what they're capable of, and how powerful Oblivion is, because Infinity is the embodiment of the universe, also the opposite end of eternity, which is basically the concept of the universe itself. So they're basically showcasing what the universe level of power, right? So that is very interesting what we see. And it says right here, I feel larger than death as well. I sense oneness with Infinity, since she and Oblivion are too abstract to connect with one another in another remote resembling a physical manner. My actions and Maelstroms are being transmitted to their level. They are simply mirroring our strengths in our highest plane of reality conceivable. Were we in the physical universe, this would be hurling galaxy at one another. So basically, since they're in Oblivion's domain, it's a little bit different how things work. And since these both are avatars, because the original concepts or abstract beings such as Oblivion and Infinity are too dangerous and too powerful that it wouldn't work if they both did, if they were just fighting themselves. So they couldn't do it themselves, so they needed avatars. So Oblivion obviously has Maelstrom, and Eternity has Quasar. And as they're fighting, they're saying that whatever they're doing, the power that they're doing, the abstract beings are basically copying them and showcasing what they're doing, because they're basically their avatars. So they're copying what their avatars are doing, but on a higher scale of power where it's hard to explain. But he does state this, that if we was to put this in the physical realm, and if you were to look through this in the lens of a physical means of a fight, this would be like two beings throwing galaxies at each other. So we do get kind of a description on how powerful these two abstract beings, Oblivion and Eternity, who are the most powerful, how it would look. It will basically be galaxies being tossed. Obviously, they're above galaxy level or multi-galaxy level, but the feats alone showcases their fight would showcase, multi-galaxy level strength feat. So it's very impressive. And then it goes on, and Maelstrom fires an attack, says, we are too evenly matched, Quasar. I have you at a standstill, and the longer we remain locked in combat here, the greater the destruction to the physical universe. In a matter of moments, the black hole at the center of the cosmos will have grown so large and so dense that not all the power of the infinity will be able to reverse it. All I had to do is hold you here until that time, and I will have won. The universe will belong to the only thing that can survive its end, the ultimate anomaly, me. Is he right? Is there nothing I can do? Am I trapped here, playing the final role of our battle his way? Our cosmic awareness, what good are you unless you can show me something that he has overlooked? That's it. So what happened here, basically, he's saying here is, since we're both basically avatars of the most powerful, abstract beings in concept, which is like, the highest ranking, we're pretty much evenly matched. Meaning Oblivion and Eternity are evenly matched in terms of power. The only advantage that Maelstrom has over Quasar is the fact that Quasar, his power is coming from the universe itself, and the universe is dying and getting destroyed, and the longer he stays it, the more the universe is going to die, and at some point it's just going to end up dying completely, and he's going to get all the power. Maelstrom killing Infinity, losing, and Quasar is going to lose his power, so he's going to end up killing him. So he's basically, they're at a standstill of power, but since the universe is dying, he has the advantage there, and he has to find a different conceptual idea that goes past and beyond anomaly, so he can use it against him, which he did find out later on. He says right here, you don't consider it, of course, because a little old lady by the name of Origin changed it. Rhetorically, throughout time, what seemed to be a whim, it wasn't. It was her way of making me a temporal anomaly, a walking pocket of reality inversion. So basically, the old lady that he was working with, that the Unbeing was trying to make him destroy, she basically changed time, since she can, warp realities and events of it. She warped the reality of times and stuff to make him an anomaly too. So since he was thinking he was the only anomaly, that would give him an advantage. He didn't know that since the other cosmic being changed and shifted Quasar's story a little bit, he also now became an anomaly, which he didn't expect. So that when that was something that he wasn't expecting, that was an anomaly to him. So like I said, these beings represent certain concepts, and if you surpass those concepts or challenge it, it can tip the fight in favor over into your side. So since his thing is being an anomaly, so he basically stands outside of all anomalies, that gives him his advantage. But now finding out that there's something that he didn't know, that it was an anomaly to not only him, but also the being he's fighting is also an anomaly. So now not only is he not special, but he found an anomaly to even him, because he's supposed to be the anomaly. Nothing is unique to him. Everything is the same. Nothing's unique or beyond him. Nothing's an anomaly to him. But he didn't know that he was an anomaly, so this gave him the advantage to beat him. And he says right here, no, I'm the only anomaly I have to be. You considered yourself an anomaly, Maelstrom. Compared to me, your complacence, an aspect of a personal reality, lies beyond our deadlock and sends ripples across the time stream. using your cosmic awareness, and you and I will know I'm right. It can't be. I'm so close to victory as soon as I had displaced Oblivion himself. What a universe to be tricked at such a small concept. So basically what happened was, like I said, he thought he was the only anomaly because his whole entire concept and being is he's an anomaly. He stands outside of realms of possibility. He's the impossible. So everything that's possible, he is above. There's the only thing that can be above him is if something is impossible to him that does not compute with him, right? If you're an anomaly, to him in his mind, he can't believe that there's anybody else that's an anomaly. He's the only anomaly. So if there is another one, it's something he cannot fathom. If he cannot fathom it, he cannot beat it, and he will lose to it. So his plan was to work with Oblivion, basically tricking Oblivion to be the biggest anomaly, to absorb his power and become it. So he was going to become the universe himself. So he was going to destroy the universe, send it to Oblivion's realm, work with Oblivion, becomes Avatar, then is becoming a bigger anomaly. He absorbs Oblivion, absorbs his realm, and then absorbs the power from the universe he destroyed, becoming a universal level conceptual being himself. But since the fact that Quasar was an anomaly, and he said he thought he was the only one, he was another one, so it was above him, and he said that you're basically, you're no longer an anomaly, you're a commonplace. Because to be an anomaly, there can only be one. If there's two, then you're no longer that. And he said, I'm even above that. So that ended up destroying him, and that ended up sending out all the mass and energy that was condensed into this black hole back into the universe, fixing it up again. And then we have Eternity talking to, or no, not Eternity, Infinity talking to Oblivion. She says, ever the cautious one, aren't you? Do you not realize that in my avatar and I had not intervened, if Maelstrom had succeeded in collapsing the universe into a singular anomalous point, capable of sprouting but one supreme being, as the personification of anomaly, he would have been it. He would have supplemented you, Oblivion, and recreated you as his subordinate, because your avatar and your short sightings permitted Maelstrom to nearly usurp control over our cosmology. I demand a new pact between our powers be struck, that I might be spared further sanctions responding this. So, like I said, what was happening was the concept of infinity is basically endless space, right? Then there's the concept of eternity, which is the universe. So as long as the universe growing and there's infinity, the universe can grow infinitely, and then there's the universe itself. Then there's Oblivion, which is the concept of destruction of that said universe. So the more you destroy, the more powerful he becomes. The more the universe grows, the more powerful that the universe and infinity grows. The more there's death, the stronger death becomes. So you see what I'm getting at. These conceptual beings or abstract beings get stronger more that their concept is expanded upon. So like, let's say somebody is a concept of fear. The more people are afraid, the more that concept is going to become stronger. So the more the destruction happens, the more Oblivion becomes stronger. But here's the loophole for an anomaly. Since an anomaly is, the more the things don't make sense, the more there's an anomaly, the more the things are ridiculous, the more powerful he becomes. So by working with Oblivion, destroying everything that is, there will be no more anything, right? That means that anything that exists will be an anomaly, thus growing his power. And when you obliterate everything and there's everything gone, Oblivion would get strong as possible, but this will actually benefit anomaly, because the biggest anomaly you could have is there be nothing and yet everything. So by destroying everything, there will be nothing, but there will still be everything. So that would feed into Oblivion, but that would directly go to anomaly, because his conceptual ideology is a bit above Oblivion. Oblivion is just destroying everything, but when everything is gone, that becomes an anomaly. Once that becomes an anomaly, that feeds directly into anomaly's concept itself. Like I said, it's kind of confusing. I don't like these, abstract characters / conceptual beings like ideology or, power scaling and writing in general, because I think it's nonsensical. I think it's ridiculous. It kind of ends up becoming stupid, but, that's how these writers like to do it, and that's what happened here. So, yeah, like I said, at most he was going to be above, universal level scales of by being a concept of that. And that's just a brief explanation and description from me. So after this, we see it says, death heeds your summons, my brothers. Eternity needs your summons, my sister. And then Quasar says, oh man, that skeleton being just stepped out of the oblivion, and that stray guy with an altars just stepped into of infinity. Were they there all along? So what happened was, like I said, there's the dualities, or the opposites of the same thing. It's basically the same thing, but these are two concepts that are very close but not exact. So oblivion and eternity are not eternity. Oblivion and infinity are the highest levels of concepts in the universe, not in the multiverse, but in the universe. The highest concept, I think, will be the living tribunal, because he's the judge and law of the multiverse. But the highest concept in the universe is the infinite expansion of the universe and the oblivion of the universe. So that's the highest, right? Because the universe is growing, right? So the infinity of the universe growing is the highest concept there. And then the opposite end of that is the concept of destruction of everything. And then within that, on the opposite side, and a concept on a little bit lower scale, but still pretty high up, is death and the universe, or death and eternity. Because eternity just means living forever, right? So death brings death to all beings and all people and everything in the universe, and the universe itself, and eternity is the life and sustaining of everything and everybody in there. So as long as there's life in the universe, and as long as there's the universe, eternity will last, and as long as there's eternity, infinity will still grow. And as long as there's the universe, there's going to be death and concepts of death. The more people die, the more things die, the more the universe ends up dying, the stronger death becomes. The stronger death becomes, it leads directly into oblivion, who is the higher power, because oblivion is beyond death itself. It just means the eradication of everything. So you can have somebody that is not dead, it's like existence erasure, right? You're not killing the person, you're just wiping them out of existence. That would go more into the realms of oblivion. So if you wipe somebody out of existence, you're not killing them, you're wiping them, you're obliterating them, right? So oblivion would get that power, whereas if they just died, death would get it, and it will feed directly to him too. So that's where Quasar's like, what's happening? They're basically coming out of them, they're representations of them, and these representations, they're basically like brother and sister, they're the opposite end. So yeah, oblivion, infinity, death, and eternity are the highest, and Anomaly was trying to surpass them by, being something beyond that. So after this, we now finally get into the more interesting and more impactful storyline of the Infinity War storyline with Thanos. Now, I'm going to be focusing more on Thanos and his accomplishments and his feats with the Infinity Stones, more so than Galactus, because Galactus does have a part, but showcasing on his hierarchy of power, because he does mess up the cosmology of Marvel. Before this, Anomaly was trying to mess up the cosmology, but Eon warned him that there was somebody else that was doing that already, and on a higher scale, that was Thanos. He was trying to do it by collapsing into singularity and doing through this whole Anomaly thing. The way Thanos was doing it was getting the Infinity Gems all together in the Infinity Gauntlet, having this massive amount of powers that's going to shift the cosmology itself. And we see this already when he basically changes the construction of a planet to write God for him. And he has Mephisto by his side. Mephisto says, within your grasp resist the infinity. My humble presence bows before your grandeur. I am proud to be your first accolade and bask in the glory of your divine presence. How may I serve you, great Thanos? So he himself, Mephisto, is powerful as a demon and a demonic being as him, is bowing down to Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, stating that you're my master. Why is this important? Well, one, he stated that you have the power of infinity, basically meaning that with the Infinity Gems, it's not just a name, it's also connected directly to infinity itself, because there are aspects of the universe itself, meaning whoever obtains the Infinity Gauntlet with all the Infinity Gems, your power can rival the concept of infinity itself. So you could either be the conceptual being itself, or try to turn yourself into a concept one way or another, or just do what like Thanos did, get this Infinity Gems that will give you the powers of the concept of infinity itself. So this is matching the power of infinity, which correlates with eternity. The reason this is a roundabout way of me saying that the Infinity Gauntlet with all the gems equals universal level skills of power, because Infinity and Eternity are the embodiments of the universe, right? The death of the universe means the death of them both. So they're the embodiments of the universe. And since he has the Infinity Gems that has the power that matches that means he has a power that rivals Eternity and Infinity, meaning he has a power that rivals the universe itself, putting him at a universal level scaling. And that power alone has enough power to make somebody like Mephisto his servant. And it is also actually explained a little bit later on, which I'll get into that too, that with him having this makes him above Mephisto. So Eternity, Oblivion, Death to a certain extent, Infinity, and Thanos with the Infinity Gems are above even Mephisto. So it says right here, no longer do the laws of nature bind him. His will can bend the very fabric of reality. He is all in all there is, and now his to command. Thanos is now mightier than death herself, more powerful than any force in the universe. So they're saying right here that he has transcended the reality and everything, but when they say everything, they're talking about the universe, not the multiverse, because they usually specify if it's the multiverse or universes or realities, like I also stated once again in my Galactus versus Unicron video when I reacted to Death Battle. Also, it's important to go into these because this also puts the ranking of where these characters' powers are lying, because I've heard a lot of arguments and statements from people when I made my videos talking about Thor's power, talking about Thanos' power, talking about Galactus, and I made statements that they're only this powerful, that powerful, and people disagreed with me. So going through this stories and stuff, it's more evidence to prove or back up my claims or go against my claims. So at the end of this little series that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to just talk about it towards the tail end, about what does this mean by all this power. So by this means that with the Infinity Gems, he's above death, and he's possibly even above Infinity and Eternity. We'll just have to see as the story progresses now. As this happens, we have some dialogue from Mephisto. He says, so much power in the possession of one who's barely keened in the status of godling. The very thought of boggles my mind. Thanos could destroy even me with what but a thought, yet his basic soul remains of the edge of immortality. Is he capable of managing the forces now undoing his command, or will he be fragile at heart by his undoing? Darling mistress, you scorn me. Your scorn wounds me deeply. Sorry. I know I'm saying weird. Wound me deeply. Some of these words, like I said, I've been going on this for a while now. I'm trying to do this all consistently at once. So sometimes when I talk a lot, my mind starts to go away. But what is being stated here by Mephisto is he's got all this power, he possesses power, he's above death now. He is so powerful, but he is still new to godhood because he's just immortal and he hasn't lived as long as I have and had this much power as I have. But also he is too focused on trying to appease and please death more so than trying to use his power. And he also states that he could destroy me with just a thought. So Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet easily can obliterate Mephisto. I know a lot of people try to say Mephisto is this powerful or that powerful, but even though he is powerful, he isn't as strong as I think a lot of people make him out to be. I do think they over-exaggerate his feats. I used to think he was really powerful, but from showcasing this, the Infinity Gauntlet itself can take him out easily, and he became his servant. So I don't think he's as powerful as people make him out to be. Later on, we see Thanos using his powers to basically warp reality and do whatever he wanted. He said he might even, on a whim, and as he's messing with everybody, he's messing with his brother. I think his name is Eros. He says, in his current state of mind, anything is possible. He might even on a whim destroy the universe. So his brother is stating that, hey, look, he has a ton of power. He's lost his goddamn mind on top of that. And he can make anything come to reality, do whatever he wants. So much so to the point that he might even destroy the universe if he ends up losing it. So that's a universal level scale of power and threat. So he's a universal threat and he's a universal level being. As this is happening, Galactus is coming to there because everybody's sensing Thanos' power, and they're all trying to like do something or stop him because he's messing with the cosmology and the structure of the cosmology in the Marvel universe. So they need to stop him before he, uses it and ends up destroying the universe, thus destroying all the other concepts within the universe itself. And Galactus is one of those concepts or abstract beings that needs to the universe obviously to live and needs to stop Thanos from his goal. So as this is happening, Galactus arrives and he says, "For I realize that even my staggering might is nothing compared to the near infinite power Thanos now wields, but think that Galactus plans to turn tail and run from the upstart demigod." So Galactus himself states and admits that he has too much power. What though, Infinity Gauntlet, he's above my power and my level, and we had this whole thing with Maelstrom and then now him. So these beings that are on universal level scales or reaching those levels are beyond Galactus's level of power. So we're kind of gauging more consistent basis on where his power lies or how close he is. But even though he's outmatched, he says he's not afraid to fight him. He's still going to fight him, but he knows that he's above him. And he goes on to say, Galactus is a being of power and intellect. Plans must be conceived and alliances formed. Only then may I savor the cold feast of vengeance. The readings of my Thanos destruction psychic imaginations are astounding, and waves devastating near a quarter of the galaxy. It's only be a 2% of its peak strength when it hits that planet Norrin Rad once I talked me out of consuming, the one called Earth. So he's saying that as Thanos is going off and using his power, without even focusing, the energy that's emitting from it is sending out devastating shockwaves that's wiped out a quarter of the galaxy. So a quarter of the galaxy got obliterated by him just, being unhinged. And as this is happening, it's affecting all these other realms, not just in Midgard, but outside of Midgard, because it also reaches Asgard. It says right here, "One moment, beautiful Asgard sat peacefully in a jewel in the heavens. A mere moment later, the home of the proud Norse gods was torn asunder. Its spears toppled, the rainbow bridge shattered. Does thou feel the change? Aye, 'tis was no simple earthquake." So what is happening is Galactus, Thanos, not only is he being, felt by the other gods, but his power is actually going out of control. He wiped out a quarter of a galaxy, then is reaching out into the heavens, destroying Asgard, destroying the Rainbow Bridge. It has even the other, Sky Fathers there. They have Odin, they have Zeus, and then they have some other ones in the background. But it's basically affecting them, and they're worried. They're like, oh, he's becoming too dangerous. And this is where, like I said, we see more of how powerful, Thanos has become because of this. It says right here, "The turmoil has wrought interdimensional changes. The space-time continuum has shifted. We haven't been cut off from the Midgard in this reality. We are trapped on, we have been trapped on Asgard." So what happened was, his energy is messing with the dimensions, shifting time and space, and it destroyed the bridge, so now they can't even go to Midgard to stop him and do something. And as this is happening, we have the Silver Surfer. He got into contact with Adam Warlock, and him and Adam Warlock went to... this is a realm outside of the multiverse itself, and obviously outside of the universe itself, and this is where the conceptual beings hold like meetings and judging stuff to talk about big, serious, threatening events. And what happened was Silver Surfer and Adam Warlock were planning on trying to take down Thanos because they know he's too dangerous. Adam Warlock was in the Soul Stone or Soul Gem for a while. He got out, so he knows what he's planning, and he has a plot to try to beat Thanos. So he first needs to meet and make a console with all the concept beings that are there, and then they start talking. It starts off with Eternity saying, "I, eternity of the actuality that Thanos strives to usurp, I come seeking judgment for the one being I consider a peer. And so the living tribunal stands present at the eternity's request to hear his case. The mad titan seeks to unbalance that which is throw the natural nature of the universe into mechanical entropy. I have considered the matter and cannot concur. Thanos only strives to replace your importance in the universe with his own." And then he says natural selection, one of the universe. So basically what happens is they go to Living Tribunal, who's basically the judge and kind of the mediator of all these cosmic beings, the universe, and all the multiverse. He basically gives rules and judging, and some people can appeal to him like, hey, look, something is happening wrong. We need you to come in and step in and do something, because you're so powerful. You're one of the most powerful beings out there, and you can stop a lot of the stuff. So whenever it's a serious threat that's threatening the multiverse or the universe itself, he will step in. But what he and Eternity is saying, hey, look, Thanos got the Infinity Stones, Infinity Gems, and have amalgamated all the power, and the power reaches up to infinity itself. So he can literally destroy the universe, become the universe, or recreate the universe however he wants. It's a universal scale level, not only in power but in manipulation and reality warping. And he's telling him, hey, look, I need help, man. He's basically destroying me, and he's trying to take over my position and trying to get rid of me. But the Living Tribunal said, I cannot help you, because the whole point of Thanos is he's not trying to destroy the universe. He's just trying to recreate it into his own image and become it. So that's also showcases that the Infinity Stones is on a universal level scale, because if it was above that, he would have tried to become the multiverse. The fact that he's only trying to become the universe means that it's on a universal level scale. And Eternity's like, yo, he's trying to take me away. I'm the universe. I'm the representation of the universe. But the Living Tribunal doesn't stand in to fight, because, like he said, that this isn't destroying the universe. If he was destroying the universe, he might have stepped in. But the fact that he's just changing it and reshaping it into his own and becoming into the place, he can't do anything. And then after this, we have Adam Warlock saying, fine, of what's the thing called? The Living Tribunal is not going to help out, then we all need to work together. So, like I said, the Living Tribunal is, his concept is he's the law of the multiverse, right? And these other conceptual beings are concepts within the universe itself. So he's a being on a multiversal level scale, where there is more on a universal level scale. And they were asking for somebody that was beyond the universal level scale, since Thanos is also becoming on the universal level scale. And the only thing to beat a universal level threat would be a multiversal level threat, right? But he said he's not showing up because he, it's not really threatening the universe or the multiverse and the structure of it. It's just changing it. So as this is happening, Adam Warlock is like, you know what, let's all work together. And for some reason, when he tries to ask Galactus for help, Galactus tries to attack him, and he tries to talk to him. He says, right here, does Galactus always have to let his anger so badly cloud his judgment? Powers the Sodom answer to probe, then let them. Surely you must realize that even the group's combined mind is nothing compared to the forces Thanos wields. Only a richly complex and skillfully executed strategy will ensure your survival. Time is short, and I have such a plan. Galactus, we know that Adam Warlock is the outside loop of destruction and incredible, wondrous deeds. Master Order and Chaos, Lord Chaos have weighed the options. So, what happened? I got a little confused. I forgot. Apparently, Galactus was the one who said, you know what, fuck it. We don't need the Living Tribunal. We're all conceptual beings. We're all powerful as shit too. We should all work together to fight him. And Adam Warlock's like, no. We need a plan. We can't just come in here and say, hey, let's get everybody as much as possible and jump this guy and beat his ass, because with Infinity, Gauntlet, he's way too powerful and he can wipe us all out. So we need to work against him. He even states to him that even with all of our mights and powers combined, we cannot beat him. So once again, this just showcases the level of power that Thanos has with the Infinity Gauntlet at this point, and how much above he is compared to the rest of these conceptual beings. Because even with having, Master Order and Lord Chaos, and having Galactus, and having the Watchers, and having the Celestials, and having Eon and Eos and all these other ones, their combined efforts cannot beat him alone. They need a strategy. They need a plan. So there are very, very powerful beings, but they can't handle him. So this means that Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet's power is above all the other conceptual beings, additionally with all these other heroes and villains combined. He's stronger than every other being within or outside of the universe combined. So yeah, since since he's trying to take over Eternity's power, meaning that he's on level of Eternity or maybe above him, that means that Eternity is stronger than the amalgamation of all these concepts. So Eternity is the most powerful being concept, so powerful that if you get all of the concepts and combine them into one, they wouldn't be able to beat him. And then it goes on to showcase some of the other ones. It says Epoch and his champion, Quasar, all ally themselves with Warlock, as does the Stranger. I love and hate Celestials apparently. So yeah, every conceptual being that is or exists is working together with their heroes. And as they all try to attack him, Quasar tries to attack Thanos, and we know how powerful Quasar is. Even without the power of infinity going into him, the bands that he has gives him a lot of power. But Thanos is able to laser off his hands and obliterate him, and then beat the crap out of the rest of the heroes and superpowered beings. So much so to the point that now the rest of the conceptual beings are like, fuck it. He's too much of a threat. He beat everybody else. He's clearly a danger. Let's all just pull up on him at once because we let Adam Warlock do his plan and it didn't work. So it says right here, despite my best efforts, I cannot shut my eyes to the awesome sight no mortal has ever meant to be seen. Armageddon commences, but in seconds I have a front row seat for the event. I pray my end comes quickly, for the universe is about to become a place I no longer wish to be a part of. So even Adam Warlock's like, damn it, I tried, but I can't. So you see all the beings there. You see Lord Chaos, the Chaos and Order there. You see the In-Betweener. You see Galactus. You see the Celestials. You see the Watcher. You see other, abstract beings that I don't really remember, but they're all there to pull up on him to fight him at once because he's that much of a threat that he requires all of them to face him. Meaning that in Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos is well above Galactus, since even with all this help, he's like that much of a threat. So Galactus, is he really universal level power? Who knows? Because it's really hard to tell from this. And we see right here, the Watcher says, as they're all them fighting him simultaneously, the Watcher says the powers unleashed in the initial clash are beyond the power of the words to describe. Many of the erraticus of nature fall victim to the assault. I sense near collapse among the entire spectrum of reality. Fear grows within my heart. The fear I am witnessing the end of the universe. So he states that the spectrum of the reality is being in danger and is getting destroyed. And he even says that this is the end of the universe itself. So once again, mentioning of universal, nothing beyond that. I could argue that, this could be universal plus, since Thanos might be above, Eternity, so he could be universal plus. But it isn't so much more to the point where it would be a multiversal level of power. Because if it was, they would have said it. Because there was the fights with Beyonder, they mentioned the multiverse being in danger. So it says right here, sorry for that, there's an airplane. It says right here, the entire solar system in the immediate vicinity are ravaged and by the effects of the Celestials' clash, calculating the billions of lives lost as a result of this confrontation will await. But even in the midst of such destruction, I am awestruck at the mysteries of the soul. So basically, what happened was the Celestials attacked Thanos simultaneously, and their attack and energy hitting him had enough power to, destroy the solar system nearby. And as this was happening, Death basically puts a barrier around Thanos' brother and Nebula, who is in a defeated state. Even though she's weaker than him, she can at least protect them. And we see the aftermath of their collision, and then Silver Surfer starts to fly and tries to do something about this. What happened was, as their fight was ensuing, there was a major explosion. The explosion was so big, it was setting off everywhere and going off everywhere. And as this was happening, the explosion was wiping things out in its way. So Silver Surfer had to get out there, so he was flying out. He said, a previous universe which each second reveals a new and greater danger. Case in point, the planet Earth, jarred loose from its orbit and drifting away from its sun, is about to have a new doom visit upon it, and its woes increase in 1,000-fold. A dimensional distortion cascades, spirals towards near the fragile world. So it knocked the Earth out of orbit. This shockwave's traveling throughout the universe now. basically is disrupting everything, and it goes so crazy that like everything starts to look insane. Now we have the Celestials doing some crazy ass feat. They say right here, the two Celestials draft helpless planets into the conflict, using them as weapons of war. The fact of the some of the worlds are inhabited by sentient life cannot be consideration in this galaxy spanning contest. Within the speed of thought, their menacing potential is neutralized by power without limit. So the Celestials are like, fuck it, he's being too much of a threat. They pull countless planets. They use countless planets to throw it at him, to hit him with it. And they said it spans a galaxy. So I'm guessing it's like a galaxy worth of planets that they're throwing at him. And he's able to neutralize the power with just a mere thought easily. And then he fires back, basically obliterating them, says, right here. But a second later, it becomes apparent that their sacrifice was but a ploy of a diversion tactic. So they're there as a diversion to attack him. It wasn't to beat him. They knew they couldn't. So he blasted them, ended up killing the Celestials, so the other cosmic beings could attack him at once. And they did. They were able to knock him off balance because they caught him off guard, but that was it. And the only reason they caught him off guard was because Thanos himself limited his knowing, because he said, look, I'm so powerful at this point. I'm an all-powerful being. Having all knowing is also a little bit too much of an overkill. I can do everything. I don't need to know everything on top of that. So he basically shut down and limited his cosmic awareness, so he could be caught off guard, so it could be more of a fair fight. So he's even weakened himself in one aspect, so the fight could be more fair for the rest of the beings that are attacking him at once. That's how powerful he is. So that's why he got off balance, because he let go of his perceptions, so he can get hit. But he's still powerful enough to take it. So he says right here, for the true thrust of the assault crimes from Kronos, who seeks to bury the Titan deeply within the layers of time long forgotten. For one of the infinity gems of Thanos' gauntlet gives him mastery over that which he seeks to over him when it'll be like trying to strive to drown an ocean. So they... Basically, Kronos, since he's the god of time, tries to set him back in time, deep in time, so he can't do anything. But since he has one of the Infinity Gems that messes with time itself, it has no effect on him. He's able to come back and break out of this time manipulation. So time manipulation doesn't work on him. And basically the comparison was, it's like trying to drown the ocean, which is literally impossible and pointless. As this is happening, Order and Chaos are trying to change the constructions of Thanos and make his body, like, because if you have Order and Chaos going at each other, they're basically it becomes how do you say, it becomes like very distorted. Everything becomes random and crazy. It says right here, from the assault of Lord Order and Master Chaos, the hope to demise, I don't know that, the Titan divide an enemy and an easier foe to deal with, but Thanos refuses to surrender his invalidity. So what happened was Order and Chaos were attacking him, basically, since there are concepts of chaos and order, it turns everything crazy and distorted and wild, and they were messing with him in his body, but he was able to handle it, and then he blasted them. And it says right here, the sheer intensity of Galactus, the Stranger, and Eon's blitzkrieg catches the Mad Titan off balance, yet is but a minor setback for Thanos, one that can overcome with a mere wish. So yes, they are able to knock him back. He's not unbeatable, but he's still really powerful. They're able to knock him back, but like I said, he put his guard down. So it took the sheer combined force of the Stranger, Galactus, and Eon to literally speed blitz him to try and knock him back, but all they did was knock him off balance a little. He then blasted him away. He says, "This is utter folly. The universe is being destroyed by the seeking to defend it. Such insanity cannot be allowed to continue, and how would you stop it? But they are my heavenly brothers, and I will kill them all. No, I should honor and cherish them. What madness is this?" So the concept of beings, with all the power combined, they're trying to save the universe, but they're ending up destroying it. So I think with their combined forces, they can destroy the universe, but not at once. It will still take some time. And Thanos' mind is being messed by love and hate. These are concepts of love and hate, and he ends up just obliterating them. He's like, fuck out of here, dude. Don't mess with me. And as this was happening, the entire time, even though Mephisto was stating that he was working under, Thanos and being his henchman and his subordinate, he was lying. He was actually manipulating Thanos and trying to use him to, he's trying to trick him so when he's caught off guard, he could steal the Infinity Gauntlet and have the power for himself. But as he does it, and he grabs onto it, Thanos notices it and says, responsibility I'm not quite ready to relinquish, a traitor. You reverted to the type primordial devil, an error you will pay dearly for. So, like I said, since Thanos is so cocky and he wants a fair fight and he wants to play around and stuff like that, Mephisto knew that Thanos was going to be a little bit reckless and take away his, his ability to perception and see, like omniscience and stuff, right? He knew he was going to get rid of it so he can be easier to trick or catch off guard and take his Infinity Gauntlet. Because if he does have, that presence of mind, nothing can catch him off guard. So he knew that he was too cocky and reckless that he was going to do it to himself. So when he does that, he's going to come in and take it because he knew he couldn't beat him. So then he grabs him by his throat and he's about to kill him until Death steps in and fights him. And then the rest of the conceptual beings, every concept fights him with Mephisto on top of it. So literally he gets attacked by love, hate, the in-betweener, order, chaos, Galactus, Stranger, the Celestials, Eon or Eros, and Death, and even Mephisto. All their power combined attacking him weren't enough to stop him, because as they attacked him, he was caught off guard. He was being simultaneously attacked at once. But once when he got his footing, he basically turned the tides and stopped them. He paralyzed them. He got all these beings and paralyzed them and trapped them. Now he owns them. As this happens, all the other concepts and abstract beings lose. They basically lost him. They tried to overpower him. He ended up coming back and then trapping them and paralyzing them. And as this happens, Eternity has had enough. He's like, okay, look, he beat the rest of the concepts. He beat all the heroes, the villains. Adam Warlock's plan didn't work. He's too much of a danger. He's too much of a threat. He's too powerful. I have to step in. So now he's fighting against Thanos. Thanos says, a prize I fought hard to gain and one I shall never abandon. Let us see which mighty being truly has the tighter grip on the fabric of what is. Defend yourself, Titan. As this fight transpires, the Watcher states, Thanos has thoroughly usurped Eternity's rightful position as the center of all of reality in this sphere. This Watcher can only conclude that valiant effort to save this plane of existence has failed. And then Thanos says, no longer needed. Magnificent Thanos has ripped himself out of the flesh of his shed and all vulnerability. So what happened? Eternity came in to fight him to see who was the stronger. He is the embodiment of the universe itself, and he has the Infinity Gauntlet with all the Infinity Gems, which is the embodiment of infinite power in all the universe. So they're fighting for who becomes the universe. And the Watcher himself stated that Thanos won. So Eternity lost. So this means that not only is Thanos stronger than all those conceptual beings and abstract beings combined, he could easily beat them, but he can also beat Eternity by himself and take his position in his role, right? And like I said, there is two forms of Eternity. You're going to get this explanation later on in another video, another part of this video that I want to make, where there's two concepts of Eternity. There's the Eternity that's an embodiment of each single universe, and then there's the Eternity that's the embodiment of the multiverse, which is the collection of all the universes. But this one is just that single universe because Watcher literally says right here, he usurped the Eternity's rightful position of the center of all of reality in this sphere. So he didn't say all of realities or all realities. He said all of the reality. All of reality, so just reality one, and he said in this sphere, meaning in this one spherical reality, basically mean one universal plane. So as this happens, and like Galactus or Thanos said, he said now that he's the embodiment of the universe, he does not need a physical form, so he left his physical form there. But this becomes a problem because as he leaves his physical form, the Infinity Gauntlet is still on there with the Infinity Gems. As this happens, Nebula was in a catatonic state, which they thought, she couldn't come back from, but she actually ended up doing. So what she did was, she came out of the catatonic state, grabbed the Infinity Gauntlet, fixed herself, and then now became the master of it. And as this happened, now Adam Warlock is going off on Thanos, and he's talking to him. He says like that. He says this to him: "Look back onto yourself, Thanos of Titan. What do you see? A man always seeking ultimate power and losing it as soon as he attains it. Why? Because deep in his soul, he knows he's not worthy of it. 3 times you have triumphed over the incredible odds to gain the ends to your desire, and 3 times you have subconsciously supplied the means to your own defeat. You let Nebula wrestle the Infinity Gems from you, just as you allowed the Captain Marvel to shatter the Cosmic Cube." So Adam Warlock basically tells him, "Hey, look, I know your psychology. I was in the Mind Gem, and I was in your mind. I know," or I think it was the Soul Gem. He's like, "I was in your mind. I know how you feel and how you feel deep in your soul. You might seem like you want all this power, but you've had so many opportunities, so many chances where you could have had it, and you could have won, and you could have done this, but you didn't. Why didn't you do that? Is it because that is it simply because you got tricked, or was it because you relinquished that power on purpose, and you did that to yourself?" And clearly that is the case. He did do it to himself. He's saying you could have won, and the Cosmic Cube last time when he had it was shattered because he allowed it. So he allowed her to have it. It wasn't that he was going to lose. He actually won. He could have won, but he just allowed it. So then after this, you have the other heroes trying to attack him. Drax and Hulk try to punch Nebula, and she says right here, two old foes and 3 others that have recent actions have earned them my animosity. The strike of one, their combined might could easily render asunder a small planet, but against Nebula, the Infinity Gems. So the combined power of all these guys, it was Thor, it was one of Galactus's heralds, it was Drax the Destroyer, and Hulk, all combined, she said their power was equivalent enough to destroy a small planet. So that's powerful, but all of them together, their power only is equivalent to a small planet, but she was able to block it and fight them back. And then now she's fighting against the rest of the abstract beings because they got freed once when she got hold of the Infinity Gauntlet. And it says right here, "And her light grasp on this newfound power and the sense by them. Their strategy is obviously to hammer her with unrelenting assault, this keeping her from concentrating on a multi-level plan of existence, so her full strength is not allowed to be brought into play. As expected, Nebula doesn't see this and has fallen victim to the ploy." So basically what they're saying is these abstract beings were saying, "Hey, look, Thanos was powerful, but he was also very smart, he was wise, and he knew how to use his power. She also has that power, but the problem with her is she's not as wise as him, or as as trained as him with this. So we can try to get the one up on her due to her lack of experience and try to beat her, but this doesn't work out because later on she turns the tide on them, saying it was only a matter of time before Nebula gained the upper hand. She possesses the power infinite, which with such might and Doloreed would eventually prove vigorous." Basically, what they're saying is they thought that since she didn't have a well enough understanding of godlike power that they could overwhelm her, but it ended up turning back on them, and she actually got the power to surpass them. So what did she do? She used, sorry that if you guys hear that, that's the neighbors. She used this power to basically stop them, and what Thanos did is he paralyzed them and trapped them, but she literally turned them into stone. And she says, "A new order exists within the universe. All hail the coming of omnipotent Nebula." So she's now the new order of the universe, and entrapped all the other abstract beings into one image. So after that, we have Thanos back, and he's now working with the heroes. He wants to help them out to beat Nebula. And as he comes back, he comes with Adam Warlock. They trick her. They find a way to beat her. They trick her into basically wanting to fix everything. So she wanted to fix anything and say, "I want everything to go back to the way it was." And when she does that, it ends up basically resetting her back to her catatonic state, and then they take the gauntlet off of her. While they do this, Thanos is like, well, I might not have the Infinity Gauntlet, but I can still handle you guys, because they're trying to jump him now, because they're like, you try to kill us all. I don't care if you helped us out now. We're gonna get back at you after what you did. And he says right here, I suggest you puny fools put some distance between yourselves and my person. A thermonuclear device on my person said to detonate in 15 seconds. Because and then Sorcerer's like, what? He's like, why? Because I would prefer death to imprisonment, provided all my one fatal flaw. No time to deactivate the bomb. Stand back. So Thor throws Mjolnir at him, hitting him, sending him flying back. Now, the reason why I mentioned this is because there are obviously two different scalings for Thanos. Usually people use him with the Infinity Gauntlet and him with his natural power. I stated his natural power, he's not that powerful. At most, he's like a galaxy level, because, you know, he needs the Infinity Gauntlet to be universal levels of power. We saw that in this story, that with the Infinity Gauntlet, you can be universal levels of power. And if he was really that powerful, that he was, you know, beyond universal level power, he wouldn't need an object that will put him just on universal, right? So that's what I put him at. So I said base, he would be galaxy. Some people said no, but this kind of points more towards my opinion, even more so, because he was going to use a thermonuclear device. So he was going to use a nuclear bomb on them, and they were all afraid of dying from a nuclear bomb. And Thor hit him and sent him flying, and it basically hurt him. He didn't die from it, but still, it's just a nuclear bomb. The guy got hurt by a nuclear bomb and was planning to kill them all with the nuclear bomb, and he also said that it would have killed him. He's saying death is better than being in prison. So you're telling me that this nuclear bomb would have killed you? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. That he would be beyond universal levels of power naturally if a nuclear bomb could kill him and the rest of these guys. So yeah, that was pretty much the end of Thanos himself. But then this does lead into Adam Warlock and his progression in power, because when Adam Warlock beat him, he got control of the Infinity Gauntlet, and now he was the new cosmic level being. So since he had all this power, the rest of the abstract beings, especially Eternity, were worried that he was going to use it the same way as Nebula and Galactus used it, because they were both very dangerous, they were both very deadly, they did very horrible things, and they didn't trust him. They're like, screw this, we already did this once, we're not going to do this shit again. We need to, have another council and stop him. So they pulled him up and said to the Living Tribunal again, saying, action has been brought against me beyond aspects of the cosmic deities. Eternity, his claims are groundless. My judge is strange entity. The other claim is a presumption of power about eternity and myself. I believe this hard to believe. I am omnipotence. The living judge is referred to as the Living Tribunal. And then Eternity says, and I further charge that Adam Warlock wields power that is rightfully mine. Do I not represent all that is this universe? So once again, he specifies he's this universe. He represents all that is this universe, saying that he doesn't deserve that power because that power usurps mine, as we saw. And the rest of the abstract beings kind of get annoyed with Adam, and Adam's like, you know what, I'm sick and tired of you guys. Why the hell are you guys talking shit to me? So they try to jump him once again, but he's with the power of the Infinity Gauntlet, we know they can't do anything, so he easily blasts them all away. So after this happens, as they try to fight him and he's fighting back, not Eternity, the Living Tribunal steps in and says, I represent forces that dwarf even your might. And he says, another assertion yet to be proven, Adam Warlock states. And he says, my task is to judge this reality's most pressing cosmic issues. Any authority comes from on high. Eternity's present your case. So basically, he's going off, he's getting mad, he's sick and tired of them, they try to attack him, so he beats them up, and then Living Tribunal has to step in and says, stop, calm down, what the hell are you doing? And he even warns him, and he says, hey, look, I represent forces that dwarf even yours, basically meaning that I'm well above your weight class, even with the Infinity Gauntlet, because the Infinity Gauntlet, you're on a universal level scale, but he's on a multiversal level scale, once again showcasing that it's not above multiversal. Or above universal. And it says right here, such a confrontation will lay waste to this reality. Is that what you wish? Is that the type of God you are? So what happened was, after that, he said, you know what, screw it. He was still on, Adam Warlock was still ready to fight the Living Tribunal. Even though the Living Tribunal said, hey, look, don't mess with me. I will fuck you up, trust me. He didn't care. He was still challenging him. So then he said, okay, look, even if you do want to fight and I can handle you, do you really want to destroy this reality? Is that the kind of God you want to be? Because you're trying to prove that you're not like Thanos, you're not like Nebula, you're not going to endanger the universe, but you clearly are showcasing, a lack of self-control. So he basically has a talk with him, and then he's like, you know what, you're right. I'm going to let go of it, and he gives it to different beings. So I just wanted to end it off here, this episode. I know that this episode is pretty interesting because we had the lead up to the Infinity War storyline and then the fight to the Infinity War storyline itself. And I know it took up most of this entire video, pretty much. There's still a lot of more feats and other comic book issues and events that transpire later on that are also very important. And there's one that's going to come by soon that's just as big as this situation too. But I'm gonna talk about that in part 3 because I think I talked enough in this one. It's over an hour and 30 minutes long, just like my last video. I don't want to get to 2-hour long videos unless you guys want that, but I'm not going to try to get to that. I want to just cram as much as I can, but not be too much for you guys and overly. It can get a little annoying. But we did go to the lead up to Infinity War and to Infinity War itself. And though Galactus didn't have 100% everything to do with the Infinity War, he did have a big part to play. And this just shows definitely his cosmic, what's the saying? His cosmic scaling and where he lies in the power scaling and ranking there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and stay tuned for next time.